Greek literature is renowned for its influence on Western culture and for its exploration of human experiences, moral dilemmas, and the nature of the universe. It also encompasses a rich and diverse body of writing in the Greek language, spanning from ancient times to the present day. The great British philosopher-mathematician Alfred North Whitehead once commented that all philosophy is but a footnote to Plato. A similar point can be made regarding Greek literature as a whole. Over a period of more than 10 centuries, the ancient Greeks created a literature of such brilliance that it has rarely been equaled and never surpassed. In poetry, tragedy, comedy, and history, Greek writers created masterpieces that have inspired, influenced, and challenged readers to the present day. At the beginning of Greek literature stand the two monumental works of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Odyssey is a mixture of tragedy and comedy. It is the story of Odysseus, one of the warriors at Troy, who wanders for 10 years trying to get home after the Trojan War. The majority of the Odyssey takes place on and around the Aegean Sea before concluding in Odysseus' kingdom of Ithaca. The Cicones in the Odyssey marked one of the times the crew's disobedience nearly cost them everything. As Odysseus and his crew traveled, they needed to gain supplies and respite from life at sea. Being warriors, they saw no harm in stopping on a small island and sacking it. Though Odysseus urges his men to move on promptly, their greed and foolishness lead them to tragedy.
The Lotus Eater are mysterious people who live in a small island. They regularly consume lotus plants that cause them to live in a perpetual state of bliss. Their lifestyle causes them to lose all sense of urgency. Odysseus and his men spend some time in the island of the Lotus Eater. Odysseus and his men landed on the island of the Cyclops. All were promptly captured by Polyphemus and imprisoned within his cave home. Polyphemus rolled a massive stone across the entrance of his cave to prevent escape and to keep his flock of sheep safe within. Then they arrived to the island of Ilus, the god of the winds. Ilus welcomed them and hosted them for about a month. When it was time for them to leave, the god Ilus blessed Odysseus' journey with a favorable wind and handed him a sack where all the unfavorable ones were confined, so he could return immediately to Ithaca. In the island of Trigonians, Odysseus and his men were unwelcome. As our hero and his comrades were approaching the harbor, the Trigonians, these wild untold giants, ran up against them, screaming and throwing boulders on the ships. The rocks broke and sank the ships, and the wild Trigonians ate all the men who were close. A sorceress, the daughter of Helios, the sun god, and of the ocean nymph Perse, she was able by means of drugs and incantations to change humans into wolves, lions, and swine. The Greek hero Odysseus visited her island Aiaia with his companions, whom she changed into swine, with the help of the god Hermes, who provides him with a magical herb called moly. Odysseus and his men arrived to Underworld, a place no one ever dared trespass. After a while, the prophet Tiresias came to meet Odysseus, and he asked the prophet what he has to do in order to get back home. Tiresias said to him, "Poseidon hates you because you blinded Cyclops, Polyphemus his son. However, take care not to disturb the oxen of the sun god when you go to his island, and you will arrive at Ithaca one day." Leaving Underworld, Odysseus and his men were drawn to the island of Cervens. These zoomorphic creatures would enchant sailors with their sweet song, and when they approached, they would eat them. Fortunately, Circe had advised Odysseus to wax his men's ears so as to drown out the Cervens' songs, and the men managed to escape the Cervens' call.
They then approached the Strait of Scylla and Charybdis, the mythological sea monsters who made sailing through the strait almost impossible. From one side of the narrow waterway, Charybdis would create whirlpools that would sink the ships, while on the other side, Scylla, curled up in her cave, would stretch out her 6 terrible heads and eat the sailors. Caught between the Scylla and Charybdis, as the proverb goes, Odysseus decided to pass by Scylla, sacrificing some of his men instead of risking sinking his ship, this way choosing the lesser of the two evils.
After many nights at sea, Odysseus and his remaining comrades arrived to the island of the sun god. Remembering prophet Tiresias' advice to stay clear of the oxen of the sun god, Odysseus begged his men to leave the island, but they were very tired and did not accept. When they ran out of food, they fasted for a few days. One day, however, when Odysseus was asleep, they slaughtered some oxen and roasted them. When Odysseus woke up, it was too late. Leaving the island of the sun, Zeus sent them a wild storm. An asteroid hit the ship and shattered it. Everyone drowned. Only Odysseus escaped. Holding onto a board, he spent 10 whole nights in the sea until finally being taken to the island of nymph Calypso. The immortal nymph Calypso took worn-out Odysseus to her cave and took care of him, but would not let him go, keeping him prisoner for 7 whole years and dreaming to make him her immortal husband. Finally, goddess Athena felt sorry for him and begged her father Zeus to help him. Zeus sent Hermes to Calypso and ordered her to let Odysseus go. When Odysseus is shipwrecked on the shores of Syria after facing numerous trials and tribulations, he is discovered by Nausicaa, the daughter of King Alcinous, the ruler of the Phaeacians. Nausicaa takes pity on Odysseus and offers him hospitality. Impressed by Odysseus' intelligence and bravery, King Alcinous decides to help him return to Ithaca. Upon finally reaching Ithaca after his long and arduous journey, once there, the goddess Athena approached him and informed him that his palace was filled with many suitors who wished to marry his wife, Penelope. Only she was waiting patiently for him to return. Odysseus then entered his palace, seeing all the suitors eating and drinking.
Meanwhile, Athena put it in Penelope's mind to bring the bow of Odysseus, his arrows and 12 axes, which had a hole at the top. Penelope ordered for the axes to be set in order, and made an announcement. Listen, suitors, whoever manages to bend the string of this bow and throw an arrow, which will pass through the holes of the 12 axes, he will become my husband. Eager, all the suitors, one after the other, began to try, but no one was able to stretch the string. Odysseus then asked to be tested as well. He grabbed the bow, bent the string, and threw an arrow, which passed like lightning through the holes of all the axes. The moment Penelope realizes the winner is in fact her long-lost husband is undoubtedly one of the best parts of the Odyssey.